Right, and what is up, everybody, and welcome back to the freaking Uncultured Podcast. That is so fun to say. I just love saying that every week, man. But welcome back to the freaking Uncultured Podcast, everybody. My name is Andy, and as always, I'm always joined by my good buddy Chandler. Chandler, how's it going this week? We got to break the illusion that we didn't just record this immediately after last week's episode, so
Hey! Don't show peeks behind the curtain, good sir. It's okay. I actually saved some small talk from our episode we recorded before this one for this episode.
actually, I did too.
So that way I could keep the illusion, but we just decided to take a sledgehammer to that illusion anyway.
Yeah,
So,
why not? It'd be fun. But to give a
yep.
little context, guys, obviously, as you can see, Chandler's in the middle of a move. So we
Mhm.
wanted to pre-record this just to make sure we didn't miss a week and kind of keep you guys in the loop. But we're going to have some fun, and we got another topic to cover today. But more importantly, small talk. So what's the small talk you saved for this week, man?
So obviously, I've been pretty busy between work and packing and moving and everything, so I haven't really had the mental capacity to play anything here recently. Like, I've been trying to sit down and play some more Doom the Dark Ages, and I really am enjoying it, don't get me wrong. I just have not felt like really playing it here recently, though, especially with everything going on. I'm just mentally exhausted. Tried to play some Fortnite, wasn't feeling it, so I decided to watch some movies instead. So I haven't watched any movies in a while.
There you
So
go.
I watched two here as of late. One is actually probably going to be a shocker to you that you would be surprised I've never seen it before.
Okay.
But here recently I watched a movie that released either last year or the year before. I watched this movie called I Saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, I've never
And
heard of it.
so it's one of those A24 art house films, but I would say it was an art house horror done right.
Okay.
Uh, but first, let me completely clarify: it's not scary in the slightest. I wouldn't even call it a horror movie. I would definitely call it a thinking man's movie.
Okay.
Um, but it was really, really good. And I'm not going to delve too much into it, especially because, that. So here's the thing: is how I really recommend that you watch it personally, because I have a feeling that your takeaway from it is going to be what my takeaway from it was. But like any good art house horror movie, though, there's a lot that's up for interpretation.
Okay.
And so, but I would say that depending on the way you were raised and the way you grew up is also dependent upon the interpretation that you're going to have. And like any good art, it's completely subjective.
Of course.
And you're not going to have a concrete answer and everything like that. So I'm not going to dive too much into it, because we could talk about it forever. But I know that the aspect that I took away from it and what I enjoyed about it would also be the same thing you took away from it.
Okay. What was it
So
called again?
I Saw the TV Glow.
I Saw the TV Glow. All right, I'll have to look
It's on,
into it.
it's on Max.
Okay.
So, but I know that, like I said, what I took away from it and how I interpret it, I know is the same way you would interpret it, because it's a conversation that you and I have had numerous times.
All right. All right.
Yeah, so I know you'll look at it the same way I do, and I really enjoyed it. I actually wouldn't mind watching it again.
Okay.
Um, and then I also here recently watched the original 1998 version of Ring.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so the Japanese original.
Nice. Ring you.
Well, yeah, well, from my understanding, there was a 1995 direct to TV movie, but I didn't know that one existed until I was doing some research last night. Whenever I watched The Ring, the original Japanese The Ring, because
Yeah.
I've seen the American The Ring,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty boring. I don't really care for the American one, so that's why I never really got around to watching the Japanese one. But a lot of people were always like, "Oh, the Japanese one is way better," and it absolutely was. It was way better. So
That's interesting. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well,
that's
I mean, it's been forever since I've seen those because I remember. I actually remember when those came out, watching them and like the
yeah.
remakes and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, no, I've seen all the American ones, but
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a single Japanese one. So
Like I remember watching a lot of those Japanese movies too, because I remember, uh, what was it? A Parasite Eve had a live action Japanese movie.
really,
Yes, and it is weird. It
okay.
is it is very weird. They did tie some of it to the game, but it's not close. Like
Hmm.
there's bits and pieces, but I was just like, this is weird. And yeah, so I
Hmm.
remember watching a lot of stuff like that too. But yeah, anyway, that's cool. At least you're digging back into some movies. Look, we're a movie podcast now.
Hey, not for long.
Well, a movie
So
podcast in our small talk anyway.
yeah, there we go, there we go. Just like we're a foodie podcast on our small talk. So
Yep. And well,
yeah,
I got a couple pieces of small talk too, so I'm gonna
yeah.
try and
Let
make it
me hear
quick.
it.
But one is actually going to be me bragging a little bit about my family. In all fairness,
Mhm.
like, so my little sister actually just graduated college, so I'm super
Woo!
happy about that. I mean, she's super smart. I love her to death. She is insanely brilliant, and I know she could do incredible things. What caught me off guard though is she graduated like summa cum laude, like top of her class, and she was actually named Student of the Year by our city's Chamber of Commerce.
Dude, that is cool.
Like it is insane. Like she is like doing incredible things. Like I said, she's super brilliant. I love her to death. Like she is
Well,
it's incredible
so
what she's doing, but like I had no idea to what level she was doing. So I am like super proud of her. I got to go get pictures and stuff done with her, like for her graduation and all of that, and I'm just super proud. So I'm kind of being boastful and just saying, I love her and I'm super proud, and I'm excited to see what she does from here. So
so I'm not going to obviously say the name of the college or anything. If it's
yeah,
the college I'm thinking of, is it your local college?
yes.
Okay, I was just curious where she had graduated from, and also what was her major.
To be honest, I don't really know. Like I know she got
Okay,
most of her basics done, and I think she was digging into she's jumped around so many different times. I
understandable.
don't know. She doesn't know exactly what she wants to do. She has a couple ideas, but I know her main goal was to get like her basics and all that stuff out of the way, just so
Mhm.
she can go into a field she wants and just hit the ground running. She doesn't have to deal with all the extras and stuff like that. So
That is absolutely fair. So, well, that is some immense congratulations to her, because as somebody who's dropped out of college twice, it is, it's college isn't for everybody, man. It
no.
really isn't.
And I
So,
mean, I graduated college with honors and stuff like that too. I graduated in the top of my class, but in all fairness, my college graduating class was like 12 people.
really,
Yeah, like my graduating class, when we started school, it was like 45 to 50 in my
Mhm.
class, and then there were other classes, but so many people dropped out and just quit and just stopped. When we graduated, I think my actual class was like 8 people.
Wow.
So yeah, it was super small, but like
So,
yeah, it was
do,
nothing.
do you have an associate's or a bachelor's?
Associates, yeah.
Okay, okay. I couldn't remember, and I don't know. I honestly don't know if we've actually ever talked about that or not. So,
Yeah, no, I mean mine. It was a tech school. It was a trade school. It wasn't
yeah.
anything great. Like in all fairness, they don't even exist anymore. So my degree is pretty much null and void at this point.
Is it the college that I'm thinking of?
ITT Tech, yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. No, they went out of business. They got sued. There was all sorts of stuff. So yeah, but anyway, like that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But that's I just wanted to give her a huge shout out. Like I think what she did is incredible, and I'm
Hmm.
super excited to see what she does. But yeah, I had to give credit where credit's due there. And then the other piece of small talk I wanted to bring up, I haven't even talked to you about this.
Oh
So I got approached at work to do reviews for my company.
no.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people that work up at the corporate office where I work, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're looking for people to do game reviews and stuff like that and product reviews. And I actually got approached to go be a part of the film crew and do the reviews because they were like, well, we're looking for YouTube personality. We're looking for like podcast personalities. And I was like, well, that's oddly convenient because my buddy and I, we run a podcast. We run YouTube channels. Like we have this stuff. This is what they do. And they were like, you need to send me some info and we will probably have you come up and do some videos for us. And it's like, okay, so I might be, I gotta get back to them on that. I'm gonna probably talk to him this next week, but I might be doing some reviews for my company, which is kind of interesting.
Hey, you want to do me a favor?
What's that?
You want to throw my hat in the ring on that?
Well, I'm hoping what I can do is like so merch has been something I've talked about for us for the longest time.
Yeah.
I want to get some custom t-shirts made, and I want to get one that says Physical Game Snob.
Yeah.
And I want to wear it and see if I can get it on the TV up there.
Oh, that would be cool. Or
actually represent.
Better yet, just see if they'll sponsor our podcast. There
yeah. I mean, in all fairness, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Hey, I'm just saying, because then all they have to do is get us a review code and we'll do the rest, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. I haven't, that's it's still a pipe dream. Like, I'm not holding my breath. I don't expect 100% to happen. Like, I was approached to do like some other videos and stuff like that with them to like support and all that stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk. And I just thought that was kind of neat. It was like, hey, I may be doing video game reviews for them. So
yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
But yeah, that's the rest of my small talk, man. Unless you got anything else you want to go into.
Nope, I don't have anything that cool.
All right. So I'm going to jump into our topic. So this week, guys, we got a little bit of I don't want to say a different topic. We got something, we're trying to think of games that just kind of stand out to us in different regards and stuff like that. And I know we've all seen them on YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. Those little oddly satisfying videos where people take like a bar of soap and they cut it up into little tiny squares and then they cut it off and it all just falls like in this perfect way, or, you know, all these little different oddly satisfying videos. So I thought, what are some oddly satisfying video games? What are some video games that you may or may not necessarily have thought, man, this would be enjoyable, I would like this. But one of those things that's like, I don't know why I enjoy this as much as I do, but I do. So that's kind of where our topic's going this week. Unless you have any input on that, like any context you want to add to that, I'm just going to roll right into the first video.
Let's get into what satisfies us.
All right. Well, so this first game I'm going to throw out there, this is a game we have talked about before. And all right, so my first game is going to be Balatro. And this game, it took you a little bit to get into it because I know you wanted to find it on a certain platform. But this game blew up. And it's literally made by one guy. His name's Local Thunk, and he was just making the game for him. He wasn't intending to like sell this or put it out anywhere, but it was just something for him specifically, and it blew up. And it's just a card game. It's a roguelike poker card game. But holy crap, this game is so much freaking fun. Like, especially when you can get it to spiral out of control. When you start getting all these different multipliers and lucky cards and steel cards and all of this stuff, and just you see the score go from, you know, being a couple hundred to millions and billions and trillions, and even to the point where you get the game to error out. Like, it can't keep track of the score. It's so much fun. Like, I love it, man. So what's your take on Balatro?
Man, it is pretty satisfying, and it's funny you brought it up and everything, especially because just the other day I texted you that I was pissed because my ran fell apart because I got a bad hand. But yeah, no, just it is immensely satisfying, especially whenever you can get a bunch of jokers that, you know, add insane multipliers to your hand that you're building. Oh, dude, it is. Whenever you see the little icons light on fire, for the multiplication of how many molts you have stacked up. It's probably going to show it here and again in a second.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but whenever you see the flames come up off those buttons and everything, and you're just like, oh yeah, I did good today, boys.
You know what the flame
So
means, right?
it means something. I thought it
Yeah.
meant I was doing hot.
No, I mean, it
Like,
means like you're doing hot, but it means that your singular hand has beat the score.
oh, is
So,
that what it means?
yeah, so like if you have a like the goal is like 500 or whatever. If
hmm
you do one if you play a hand and that score exceeds 500, that's when the flame comes up. That means you're on fire and you've beaten the score, but the higher it goes, the bigger the flame gets.
I just thought it meant I was cool.
I mean, it does that too. Yeah, of course it means that,
Okay.
but there is like an actual meaning to it as well.
Oh, okay. I was completely unaware.
But yeah, no, that means like you've just one shot the score essentially in that one singular hand. So
Okay. Yeah, no, this game though, because I've been trying to find it on PlayStation, and at the time of this recording, it's actually one of the free games of the month for PlayStation, and I added it to my library. But I actually have access to Apple Arcade Plus
hmm
through a family member, and so I have been playing. It's on Apple Arcade Plus, so I randomly just play the crap out of it on my phone. So
I know this is the minority opinion here, but I don't like playing it on my phone.
really,
I don't like the controls on it, man, personally. And that's just my 2 cents, but I've just gotten so used to playing it on my PlayStation and my Switch. I just prefer the buttons interface instead of the touchscreen.
okay, that's fair. But as somebody who has only played it on their phone,
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to compare it to, so I have no issue with it.
Yeah, fair, but like how far have you gotten in the game? Have you put a lot of time into it, or would you be opposed to starting it over on PlayStation?
I would start over on PlayStation. That's fine, but like I also don't know. Is there a way to really track progress?
So you can check your decks, because every deck
Uh,
has a stake, like a stake difficulty.
yeah, like you get an extra discard, or you get an extra card in your hand, or something
Yeah,
or an extra play. Should say.
but there's like 10 different levels for every deck.
I need to do some more digging on that then, because I'm gonna be honest. A lot of times I just kind of open it up and I just run with it. So I
Yeah.
haven't really looked into it all that much.
Yeah, every time you beat a hand or you beat one, like you unlock a new difficulty stake. And it's like, all right, now you have -1 discards. And then the next stake is going to be now you have to get a higher score, but you also are still -1 discard. And then it's, the next level is then you have permanent jokers,
Oh,
and then you have time jokers, and then you have jokers that cost money, and it slowly gets more and more difficult.
okay. So I have 3 decks, and I have no stakes other than white, which is just base difficulty.
Yeah, okay, so
So
you barely scratched the surface of it, so.
yeah, no, I have the red deck, blue deck, and the yellow deck is what I
So
currently have.
I think I have all but one deck unlocked, and I'm trying to beat Gold Stake on red deck, which is
Okay.
the final stake for that deck. And I've gotten so frustrated trying to beat that stake because it's stupid difficult for some reason. I've just started working on the other decks because I can't beat Gold Stake on that one.
Man, I really only have scratched the surface of this game then, haven't I?
Yeah, there's so much to
Oh,
it.
man.
But that kind of works in your favor because if you start playing it on PlayStation, you're not losing any progress. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, man, like this is probably one of the best games in my opinion for the PlayStation Portal.
Mhm.
And I'll just sit back and play this on the Portal because it's not like a super high stakes like every millisecond counts kind of game. It's just a card game. So I don't
No,
know.
that's
I
fair.
love it. But like the point of the episode, guys, like when you start getting the Jokers to do crazy things together, you see the score just go insane. It's so much fun. It's so addictive. And this trailer doesn't even do it justice. Some of the people in this community have done incredible things with this game and just doing some insane scores. And it's so much fun to watch. It's so enjoyable.
Oh
I
yeah, no,
strongly encourage this game.
It's like I was telling you Friday, I had a really good run, or this past Friday. Whenever I texted you, dude, I had my jokers were insane. Like I had one that was like plus, oh, what was it? It was like plus 5 mult for every face card played
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. And then not only that though, but I had another one that was like +2 mult for every card that's a club. So like if I had a face card that was a club, I was just racking it in.
Oh yeah.
And then I had some other qualifiers on top of that too, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm feeling it." And I was doing so good, and then like I said, I got screwed by the hand I was dealt, and
That's
I did start another run. I was pretty mad. So,
that's that's the one issue I have with this game. Like RNG is your biggest challenge in this game.
oh yeah,
RNG is the one thing you have to worry about more than anything. Like you can be smart, you can make, good choices with your cards, you can make bad choices with your cards, but
hmm
you are ultimately like 50% of this game is the luck you were drawn. Like heart of the cards is absolutely a thing with this game in my opinion.
yep. No amount of blue eyes white dragons are going to save you here.
No, and that's the thing is like you get a bad draw, you're out of luck. It doesn't matter how great your jokers are. Like a bad draw will end a run easily. So, but other than that,
Yep.
I'm gonna roll it over to your first one because I could talk about this game for hours. Like to be honest, now I want to go play this game.
Yeah, I kind of want to play some more now too. So thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. That's what I do here, man. Is
for
just try and
planting that seed.
yep, that's what I'm here for. Is just to make you want to play Balatro more. But you need to start it on PlayStation. So
Yeah, I do. I'd probably play more often if I did have it on PlayStation. Or, well, I do have it on PlayStation now, but I still
wait,
want to find a physical copy, which I could just order one, but
I saw one the other day. I think it was at Walmart or maybe something like that. But I saw one and I was like, I need to let Chandler know. But I
I need to
forgot
tell
to.
them.
Yep. But all right, so I'm gonna wrap this one up and I'm gonna let you get to your next one. So
All right, so this next one, the my initial idea for this one was whenever you and I were talking about this subject was you had specifically said games that you didn't expect to be satisfying, but we kind of opened it up a little bit more on that front. But this is one that was in that initial vein from whenever you first brought it up of I didn't expect this one to be satisfying. I honestly did not expect a lot from this one at all whenever it was coming out. And so this is Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which at the time of this recording, this game is probably about half a year old, roughly. It came out in September 2024. So, yeah, I would say it's roughly half a year at this point. But this game, I don't know. I didn't really have any expectations for it. It is a Zelda game, but you don't play as Link, you play as Zelda, which is also the first time you actually get to play as Zelda. But the whole gimmick is that Zelda has this rod where you can copy items in the world around you and you can spawn them in at any given time. And I thought that was the weirdest thing ever, and I was like, how is that going to work in a top-down 2D Zelda game? Um, in my head, it was kind of a thing of like, oh, well, this developer, played Tears of the Kingdom and saw Tears of the Kingdom, and was like, well, let's try to transcribe that to 2D. And in my mind, I was like, you can't do that.
that's not allowed.
Yeah, I know. I was like, no, that's two different Zeldas. You're not allowed to do that. And but the thing is, though, is they did it, and they did it immensely well. My two biggest complaints about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is that they don't feel anything like a Zelda game. They're only a Zelda game in name and character. And that's not to say that they're bad games, because they're really not. Tears of the Kingdom I thought was amazing, but uh I it just became this whole thing of because in Legend of Zelda you have specific items that are for specific things so that way you can get through certain areas, like your hook shot or your bow. Everything has a service to specific areas and specific items, and you just took that away from me because even Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have an offshoot of that. It's just one specific item that has multiple different functions that you unlock throughout the game. But this one took away everything, though, and just gave you a rod and said, copy random items, copy this bed, copy this potted plant, And so I was just kind of like, oh, you took away the core thing of what made Zelda fun, and but no, they absolutely did not. Instead, what they did was they opened up a world of my own problem solving abilities, man. It became something so much more. And so that's the thing is like from the areas you explore, different areas have different things that you can find and you can copy. And you can also copy enemies too that will help you traverse or fight other enemies. But it just became a thing of like, okay, over here is this heart piece that I need to grab. You know, what do I have that's going to help me get that heart piece? And you kind of look through your list and everything, and you can, you know, think of different things. And, you know, you're like, okay, so for example, there was this one area where I needed to light something on fire, but it was up high where I couldn't reach it. So what I did was I had the ability to pick out an echo of a potted tree.
Okay.
And so, and the tree is the same height of that torch. And so I was like, so I wonder if I can catch this tree on fire with another echo I have, which was just like a fire enemy, and see if the fire will spread from the tree to the torch. And so I spawned in the fire enemy next to my potted tree and everything. Sure enough, the potted tree caught fire and it caught fire to the torch. And I was like, okay, this game is something special. And it just gave me this whole idea of thinking outside the box in a completely new way. Because obviously, there's more than one way to light a torch, but it's
Yep.
just what is your creativity? What, you know, does the game allow you to do? And how far out does it allow you to extend your creativity? And it got to the point where it was extremely satisfying to figure out different ways to get to different areas and get different items.
See, so I never played Echoes of Wisdom. I never got the opportunity to pick it up and play it. But it was one, like, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate here, but I wasn't real big on Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like, just they weren't for me. But, I really wanted to play this game, because I love Link's Awakening. The remake they did for Link's Awakening was incredible, and this looks very similar to it, obviously. But I wanted to play this one, and watching it and hearing you talk makes me think of Scribblenauts even more.
That's
Because
fair.
like I remember playing Scribblenauts day one, and the first thing is like, oh, there's a cat stuck in a tree. How do you get it down? And it's like, well, you can use an axe and cut the tree down. You can get a ladder and climb up the ladder and get the cat out, or you can use a rocket launcher and just blow up the tree and get the cat out that way. It's what
Yep.
your imagination is the only thing that's going to limit you to solve this problem. And like seeing that and hearing you talk about it makes me think that. So it's like, now I want to play this more. I really want to check it. I want to play this and see more on it. So
Yeah, no, and I would say this game does a really good job of also blending old traditional Zelda with, you know, the newer aspects of something like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Because that my biggest complaints with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is, like I said, it doesn't feel like a Zelda game. You
no.
don't have dungeons that you go to and fight bosses and everything. I mean, in Tears of the Kingdom, you kind of do, but it still doesn't feel like traditional Zelda. It still feels like an offshoot of it. But this game actually has dungeons you go to. It has a map that you have to traverse. You know, it's not endless. You know, and it also has sub dungeons too, which not a lot of Zelda games have. And it has little sub dungeons with mini bosses for specific side quests, and that also just really felt satisfying. The sense of exploration and how to get to those sub dungeons. So
Yeah. No,
I
it's
I
I was just gonna
this
say like this game looks like it would be a lot more enjoyable because kind of the same. Like I had a lot of issues with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like it's not a bad game. I just don't feel
mhm,
like I feel like if I would have played that 10 years ago, like younger, like I feel like I would have enjoyed it more. It's just I felt
mhm.
like it was too much and it didn't feel like a Zelda game to me. So
Yeah, I'll say this, and this is probably going to get me absolutely lynched, but I actually enjoy Echoes of Wisdom more than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
wow, and I know you were a big fan of both of those. Like
Yeah.
I know
Oh
you were a
yeah.
big fan of Tears for sure. So
Oh yeah, no, this game, dude, like I said, it marries both traditional Zelda and new Zelda and reinvents the formula in a way that has not been done for a franchise that's 30 something years old. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, no,
actually almost, I think it's almost 40 years old now, but
yeah, don't. Don't do that to me.
So, but anyway, yeah, please, if you haven't checked out Echoes of Wisdom, please check out Echoes of Wisdom because this game needs to be talked about more because it was great and I would not mind playing it again.
No, I might grab a copy of this because we've got the big trip coming up and we got a good 13, 14 hour flight ahead of us, and
Yep.
I want to take my Switch, and if I do, this will be something that could help pass that time for sure. So.
Oh yeah, this is a game, dude. No joke. I lost countless hours in this game whenever it came out last year, and the only thing that kept it from being my game of the year was the fact that Silent Hill 2 remake absolutely blew me away. And even though, yeah, and I haven't played Silent Hill 2 before either, so but the remake was my first exposure to that, and I think you already knew that I was going to love Silent Hill 2 remake. So
I was telling you that from day one because I know we were talking about it, but I was just like, no, dude, you have to play this game. Like, I promise you, it'll be worth the playthrough. And thankfully, Bloober knocked it out of the park. But that's another conversation. So,
yep.
But cool.
So anyway, moving on.
All right,
because
so
I could just continue to talk about this game.
Yep. No, and I mean, again, like, I loved Link's Awakening. This would be a game I would totally be about, and I like the creativity, that Scribblenauts level creativity. So I do want to pick that up. That is one I need to check out. But going into the next one I have played, and I've put a little bit of time into this one. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but this is a game I have played a little bit of. I've put, a few thousand hours in this game, and I have 100%ed it. But I'm actually going to steal a video from a YouTuber that I actually enjoy watching, and I actually learned a lot from his videos. And this is Sinvicta, so again, if you haven't watched his channel, go show him some support. Go comment on there. Hey, you were freaking featured on the Freaking Uncultured podcast. There we go. I like it.
I don't know why, but you started you were freaking, and I don't know why my brain was just like, you're a freaking idiot. Like, he's not.
No, so I have nothing but respect for this guy. He's actually a really good YouTuber. I've been watching him a very long time. Again, let him know he was on the podcast. He probably won't care. He's, got much more important things going on, but this game is The Binding of Isaac. And again, like I said, I know I've talked about this game. Chandler knows I've talked about this game numerous times to him. This game is incredible. Probably one of the best roguelikes in my opinion. Like, this game has insane amounts of lore, a huge following to it, numerous expansions. Like, there is so much to do with this game and stuff like that. But the part that's so oddly satisfying about this is the level of synergy you can get in this game with the hundreds and hundreds of items that there are. And the reason I'm picking this video is because I want you to really see how extreme this game can go from being so simple to just complete chaos. Starting this game, obviously, you play as Isaac, and it's just you, and you're just shooting tears. Like, that little blue ball he's shooting is his tear, and that's all you have. This run, he's playing a character named Eden, and Eden starts with random items. And in this run, he starts with an item called Gemini, which is the little conjoined baby that's attached to him. And he also has Boom, which is tear detonation. So when he shoots a tear and he uses that item, it'll shoot like an AoE effect of tears from his singular tear. So he's starting off with a couple extra items, but I wanna jump ahead and show how extreme these games can get. And it's kind of like Balatro. It's kind of that same idea of RNG is kind of the biggest factor here. You have some control of the game, but luck is going to be the biggest factor for you. And I'm just going to jump towards the end of the video because I want you to see how it goes from what we just saw to now he's got an army of followers. He's got a bunch of knives in the game, which is some of the most powerful items in the game. And
she just decimated that.
yeah, he's just one-shotting enemies now. And all of those are homing knives. They have laser damage attached to them. He's got a bunch of flies, with that ring of flies around him, which isn't... They actually fly and do double his damage. But, like... That's one of the bosses in the game right there. He just walked in one shot. That's boss.
Insane.
And we're going to jump a little bit further ahead. And I want you to see... That was another boss fight he just did.
That's wild.
And it's so insane how crazy this game can get. And that's what I love about this. That's why this game is so oddly satisfying, is you can pick up all these weird items in the game. They have, like, you know, used syringes, dirty diapers, you know, pets, like former pets you have in the game, and like you can use them as familiars that help you. That's one of the big bosses in the game. The fight's over. 2 seconds, he just finished that entire boss fight.
That's insane.
And that's what makes this game so oddly satisfying, is you never know what you're gonna get. You never know how the runs are gonna end. I love this game, man. Like I know I've talked to you about this game for years. It's a great co-op game. It's a ton of fun. If you know what you're doing, you can really abuse the game, kind of like what he just did there. Because technically you're not supposed to leave that room. When you finish that boss fight, the game's over. But if you have an item called Dead Cat, you have 9 lives technically. He's kind of got up to 15 at the time. Now he's got 14. But when you die, you get sent back to the room prior to it. So he kills the boss, kills himself, gets sent back out of the room, and now he's trying to go down and fight, I think it's Lamb is what they call it, and then he's going to go try and fight Mega Satan and stuff like that. He's doing what he's called an Omega run, where you fight basically every single boss in the game.
Dude,
in one singular run.
I did not realize how much depth there was to this game, and that you could cheat death to continue your run.
Yes.
Like,
dude, it is insane what people have been able to do in this game, and I absolutely love everything about it. It's so oddly satisfying on what you can do here. It's so much fun. Like, I don't know what else to say, because, I mean, he's using a sacrifice room. Every time you walk over those spikes, you're sacrificing health, but you can unlock items, you can unlock other boss fights, and as you can see, he's just one-shotting. But if you sacrifice enough, you go to what's called the dark room, and he can go fight Mega Satan, which is what unlocked right there. And I assume he's gonna go in there. I don't know if he's doing the Mega Satan fight just yet. Let's see. But I mean, you go into Mega Satan, so yeah, he's gonna go fight Mega Satan. And this is a tough boss fight. And this is also kind of a gamble too. I mean, he's just, good lord, he's just decimating this fight.
This is wild.
Because if you look in the bottom corner, all of these other bosses are spawning. Like, this is a boss rush fight. You fight him, and then all of a sudden there are 5 other bosses, or 6 other bosses that appear at the bottom. And he just one-shots all of them. He just finished the fight.
That's insane.
And now he's going to go... Okay, so he opened up the Delirium portal. Delirium is like the last boss. One of the last bosses they added to the game. It's not the last one. But, and it's all randomized. You never know. Crown of Light is insane. He just got so much more damage on top of what he already had. That's insane.
But it's all RNG, though.
Yeah, 100%. Everything's randomized. Yeah. But you can kind of work the system in your favor. Like, you can abuse certain mechanics and make things work in your favor, but you're still at the mercy of the game. But
is there a lot of RNG manipulation in this community?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is? Okay.
You can definitely... You can control it to a degree. The developer, Edmund, he's kind of... I don't know. Like, I don't want to say he's, like, against it. Like, he's very for his community, but with Repentance and Repentance Plus, they nerfed a lot of issues they had, because a lot of people were abusing the game and just breaking it
Hmm.
to a ridiculous degree, like unlimited items, unlimited money, buy just whatever you want, just break the game. And it just got to a point where Edmund was just like, all right, we need to rein this in. So they nerfed a lot of stuff. The community wasn't too happy with it, but
Yeah.
people, there's always a will, there's a way kind of thing.
Yeah.
So again, I know I'm ranting on this game, but I know you've played a little bit of it. What's your take on Isaac, man? I mean, do you
Well,
have enough to really give an opinion, or?
no, it's like I'm pretty sure I've said it on this podcast before. I know I've told you personally. Most of my experience with Isaac is vanilla Isaac, like in a web browser. It wasn't even on any consoles
Yep.
yet.
Yeah, the old
So,
Flash version of the game.
yep, which I did buy the game for PlayStation. I just hadn't played it except for maybe like all of like 10 minutes. So I need to definitely hop into it and everything. But it's like I've said before to you, whenever it comes to roguelikes, I have a tendency to get very, very addicted.
Oh yeah.
So it's a rabbit hole that I don't jump down unless I know I have the time to dedicate to it. So,
Well, I will throw this out here. So, Isaac is a single player game, but it always had couch co-op. Like my wife and I played this game a lot. We played together. But on the PC version, they just opened online co-op.
okay.
So there is online multiplayer for this game. So this is a game that we could actually play on Steam and do full co-op runs.
Well, at some point, I guess I'll have to get a Steam copy.
Yeah, so and I every time it goes on sale, he just wiped Delirium. Like that's the big boss there, and he just wiped the floor 100%. Just did that. And he's gonna go back and try and do more. Like that's the funny thing. It's like he's gonna keep going. He's probably gonna go for Beast now, which is the one of the last bosses. But that's another thing. But yeah, this is a game that I would like to play. Oh no, he did finish the run. He just ended it. Okay. But this is a game I think we could have some fun playing, man. It's just there's so much to it. There's so much like involved in this game. If you want to do a lot, it is a time sink. But yeah, we could have a ton of fun, and this is probably one of my favorite games of all time. So, but yeah, I'll stop. I'll stop talking Isaac, and I'll let you get into your next one, unless you have anything else you want to cover here. So.
No, I was actually really enjoying listening to you talk about Isaac as commentary to the gameplay. So,
fair enough. I felt like I was just rambling on, so hopefully I did something right there.
oh no, I was enjoying it. So
And again, shout out to Sinvicta. Like I am actually a fan of his channel personally. Like he's done a lot of good videos, and I like watching his stuff. So shout out to him. And again, I know he won't see this. It probably it doesn't matter. But I'm a big fan of his. So thank you, Sin, for hours and hours of content to watch, man. I appreciate you. So, but I'll let you get on to your next one, man.
all right, so my next one. So this one is one that I've talked about before on this podcast. It was on favorite indie games, and so that's actually been a while. This game I knew I was going to enjoy, but I didn't realize to the extent that I was actually going to enjoy it, and just how satisfying it would get. It would end up becoming for me. So this game is Death's Door, and you play as a little crow who works for. He basically works for the afterlife. So they're little agents that go out and they gather up a soul whenever a soul is, basically getting close to its expiration in their time in life and everything, and takes them away to the afterlife. So that way they don't become a monster, basically. Because if you stick around on Earth what I'm assuming is Earth, I actually don't know if it is or not. If you stick around in this land too long after you were supposed to pass on, then you end up becoming, a monster essentially. So, but that being said, though, and just the summary that I gave of it, you can imagine where the story goes, and how it becomes a thing about life and death and the acceptance of death, and having to realize that your life has to come to a natural conclusion and an end, and it becomes this wholly satisfying story that becomes well rounded by the end of it. And it just, even to this day, the story still sticks in my head rent free. And it's inspired so much to, it's inspired me so much to the point that I actually want to get a tattoo for this game. And then the other thing that is extremely satisfying about this game is the soundtrack. Oh man, the soundtrack for this game is so good. I will listen to it in my car on the way to work.
I was actually
Uh,
just thinking that too. Like, I was kind of listening to the music while it's playing. I was like, man, that's really good.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is amazing, and it's a shame. You would have to get one through like eBay or something now. They actually did release vinyls of this soundtrack, and I did not get one. I would love to get one though, because this soundtrack is absolutely amazing. It's a soundtrack that I would recommend that if you are a music buff, it's a there's a lot going on within one song, and it works extremely well, and it just adds to the world and the feel of this game and the story that they're trying to tell immensely. So, and I know you still haven't played this game, which is a shame.
Yeah. So, and I am my own hurdle in this regard because I do want to play this game, and I bought it on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But my issue is I really want to play this on my PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
And I don't own it on PlayStation. I would rather, this would be a game I would try and go for the trophies and stuff like that. Because honestly, I think you said this was a pretty easy trophy. Or platinum.
It is. I got platinum on it.
But like, to me, this would be something I would enjoy more on my PlayStation. Like, I like my Switch, but it's not my preferred platform.
Yeah.
So I would rather play this on my PlayStation. So I'm hopeful I'll find a copy of it. I think I have it from PlayStation Plus or whatever it's called now. But I want to play this one, so
I highly recommend it. It is phenomenal. And like I said, the story and the feel that it gives you and everything is just it's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks good. I like the soundtrack's impressive. Like, it definitely gives me Zelda clone vibes to it, but it looks like it looks enjoyable, so.
It definitely is, but it's more difficult than a Zelda game, but of course it's one of those games that once you kind of get a handle on the combat and everything and how it's played, you're not going to have any issues with it.
Yeah, so, no, for sure.
Because there's a run for a trophy where you have to use the weakest weapon in the game and nothing else. And if you did what I did and you make that your second run and the last trophy you need to get, it's a joke. Like, even though you're using the weakest weapon, it doesn't matter, because you're going to have your muscle memory in on it at that point. So,
you'll be more prepared for it at that point.
No, exactly.
But no, this is one I do want to play. It looks really good. It looks like it plays very well too. So.
Oh, it does, and that's the thing too. Is it's very weighty too. It has some weight, and every action that you do and movement that you do matters. So.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I'll do some research and see if I can just pull the trigger on a physical copy for PS4.
Yeah, I recommend it, man. It's, like I said, it is absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see what Acid Nerve does next, because this is only their second game. So.
Okay. Well, that'll be one I do want to check that out. It looks good. I've got definitely a backlog to go through, but that is one I do want to play. So.
No, I feel that. So, all right. For your last oddly satisfying game, what do you have for us, good sir?
So, this one, I do have very fond memories with this one for sure. And man, like so it's funny this came up because you actually reminded me of this one, and I have a few games I would pick, but I like this one because it's definitely out there. It's not one that we talk about very often. And to be honest, this is one of my favorite of these types of games. But I'm a real big fan of the creativity, the being able to do what you want, create customization. I'm really big into that. And it hurts my soul a little bit because I just saw yesterday this game has been out officially for 15 years. Yeah. I just saw the other day they posted it and they were just like, This game has been out for the last 15 years, and I was like, oh my god. And it's like, in all fairness, it's a PS3 game, so yes, that makes sense, but it's like, where did the time go?
Yeah.
But Mod Nation Racers is going to be my last oddly satisfying game, and I don't know what to say. It's a Mario Kart clone, like, in all fairness. But what makes this game stand out and so unique is the next level customization, because you can just do whatever you want. The customization on the characters was okay. It wasn't spectacular, but it was the customization of the karts. You could make anything, man, and I mean anything, and that's what I loved about this game. I actually made, so I'm tempted in hooking up my PS3 and getting like screenshots of what I created. If I can still access them, I'm pretty sure I can. But I made the TMNT van. I made the Batmobile. I made the Mach 5 from Speed Racer. I made all of these different karts, and what made it incredible is once you made a kart, you could put it up on their online servers, and other people would download them and use them in-game.
That's cool.
And I loved it, man. I spent more time creating than I did racing. And that's what was so oddly satisfying about this, was it wasn't about racing for me, because I like Mario Kart, I like these kart racing games and stuff like that, but I was more interested in, hey, what karts can I make, and how many people are going to download it? Who's excited about the TMNT van like I am? And I got so addicted to it, and it was so much fun, and so oddly satisfying seeing other people excited about these karts like I was. So, what do you have for this? Do you have any input? I know you have input on Mod Nation, but what input do you have here? So,
Man, so I don't have anything too crazy because, I have played this game, but I actually only have very minimal experience with it, and that's because I never personally owned it. I only ever played it whenever I went over to a buddy's house. And so obviously, if I'm over at a buddy's house and everything, we're just kind of, messing around and not really dedicating any too much time to it. So obviously most of what I have is the gameplay itself and the racing, not so much as the customization and what you can create. So sadly, I can't relate to you on that front. I'm sure if I owned this game, though, that would be a different story. But I can see where you're coming from, though, and seeing your creation come to life and how many other people enjoy the thing that you made.
And on top of that, too, like, the point of the game was the customization, the creativity. Like, at its core, yes, it's a kart racing game. It's a Mario Kart-style kart racing game. But you had the ability to create anything in this game. You customize your character, you customize your kart, and they had, in my opinion, one of the best course customizations in any game. Like, you could create any style course you wanted, and the best part about it is to create it, you drove your kart around to make it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, click and choose, like you place the map, it's like, hey, no, you're on a kart, you're on a flat plane, start driving and you're going to make your course. And I remember making one course that was just a perfect spiral going down. And it was like probably 20 layers of just spiral. But it was just like, you can do that. There's a skybox. You can go all the way up to it. You can go all the way to the ground. You can add water. You can do all sorts of stuff. And the next level creativity was there. I mean, it was to that style of like Little Big Planet, man. Like, your imagination is what's going to hold you back. And I love this game, so
that generation of console gaming, was very heavy in that too, because you had Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and then, like, more importantly, you had Minecraft come out at that time. So,
no, that sandbox kind of creativity was definitely kind of like when we talked about platformers on our last episode. PS1 was a really good generation of 3D platformers. It was like, this was that time frame when sandbox creativity really became a thing. So
yeah, no, and then it's a shame because you don't really see it anymore now.
No, and I feel like I feel like we're in a different era of gaming
Hmm.
Obviously, like online multiplayer is a big thing, and battle
Life
royale is kind of,
service, yeah.
yeah, like that's kind of where we're at now, and it sucks because even though we don't see these style games anymore, there's definitely still a market for it. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, we'll never see another one, but I would always love to see another Mod Nation Racers. I would love to see them dig into it. Hell, I would love to see a proper Little Big Planet 4, but we'll never see
Uh,
it.
yeah, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation ends up shutting down Media Molecule, sadly.
I don't want that to happen. I love Media Molecule. They've done some great things, and
Yeah.
obviously Dreams has been a wonderful project for them, but it's not Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
And I think they're holding on to that IP more than anything just because of Sackboy being Sackboy, but Astrobot's kind of taking the lead on that one right now, so
Yeah, he's taken places, PlayStation's mascot now, so.
yeah, but again, I would love to see another one of these. I wish even if it doesn't take over the market, I wish we had more of this freedom and creativity like we did back then.
Yeah. Well, add it to your wish list, sir.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely on a massive wish list. I'll give you that. So, but that's what I've got for my last one. Unless you have anything else, I'm just gonna let you roll into yours.
Nope, my last one is actually in the same vein as this one. So, yeah, so for my last one, it is going to come as no surprise if you know me. Absolutely no surprise at all. So this next one, I'm just going to get out the gate and say it. It's Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. And obviously, I'm a big Crash Bandicoot fan. But this game, and I knew I was going to enjoy this game. I knew I was going to love this game whenever it came out. But the changes that they made to it, I didn't expect to become very, very satisfied with how much I put into this game and what I ended up doing. So the thing is this is a remake of the PS1, Crash Team Racing game. Um, but they actually, Beanox, the developer, ended up bringing in mechanics from Nitro Kart, which is the second Crash Racing game. So on the surface, it's definitely a Mario Kart clone. There's no surprise there. But there's so much more technicality to it than Mario Kart and any other kart racer I have played. And that comes into the fact that Beanox ended up taking a mechanic from Nitro Kart and implementing it into this game. And it's the way the boost mechanic works. So whenever you enter a drift, like in Mario Kart, the longer you stay in a drift, your flames will change color. And obviously, a purple flame is the maximum amount of boost you can get from a drift. In Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, whenever you enter into a drift, you have a little gauge in the bottom right corner of your screen that fills up. And so the longer you stay in a drift, the higher that gauge goes. But once you get to the top of that gauge, though, let me grab a controller. So, just to give an idea. So you drift with the shoulder button, okay?
All right.
So you turn into whatever direction you're turning and you hold that shoulder button like you would in Mario Kart. Whenever the gauge gets full, though, that little gauge in the bottom right I was telling you about, you want to hit the opposite shoulder button than the one you're pressing, and that gives you a boost.
Okay.
Excuse me. So now you can chain together 3 boosts from that gauge filling up. Once you hit 3 boosts, you can't do it again unless you enter a new drift. So the thing is, though, is there's a risk-reward system for trying to get that gauge up as much to the top as you can before you hit your opposite bumper. But because if you get it to the top as much as you can, then you get a larger boost.
Okay.
But it's a risk reward system, though, because the thing is if you let that gauge burn out, then you have to start your drift over, and depending on where you are in the course, you may not be able to, and depending on if you hold it down too long, you can actually spin out as well.
Okay. So you got to balance it per se.
Exactly, but that's the thing is once you actually get to the point, though, where it's muscle memory and you have that timing down, then it doesn't become an issue anymore.
Yeah.
But here's where the layers start adding up. So specific tracks, not every single track has it. There's these green, so most tracks have these green boost pads with black arrows that point upward. You've seen it in the trailer. They show them all over the place. So these boost tracks obviously give you a little boost. There are certain boost tracks, though, on certain courses, and there's no indication to which ones they are. You just have to know that they don't ever change. They're always
Okay.
the same ones, always on the same tracks. If you actually drift over them and activate a boost, on the opposite bumper, whenever you're going over these certain ones, you will activate what is called a sacred flame. So
Okay.
a sacred flame is the best flame you can get coming out of your card. It also means you're going the fastest that you can. In order to maintain a sacred flame, though, you need to constantly be chaining your boost together from your drifts. So you have to constantly be drifting as well as boosting. And every time you chain together 3 boosts, you have to get out of that drift, hop into another drift, and chain together another 3, while also keeping your tires off of the track as much as possible because that's friction and it will ruin your speed.
Good lord. All right.
Yep. And so you can get away with criminal speeds in this game, coupled with the large amount of shortcuts that each track has. Because, like, shortcuts in Mario Kart aren't real shortcuts. It's like, oh, I have a mushroom. I can boost over this grass patch right here instead of having to go around it. That's not a shortcut, okay? In this game, it is actual shortcuts. And depending on how fast you are going, is dependent on whether or not you can achieve that shortcut or not. And
Okay.
so it becomes very, very satisfying to master a track and to hold your sacred flame. The entirety of that track as well becomes insanely satisfying and
Hmm.
gratifying as well. And to the point that where, like me, because this game came out in 2019, right before COVID hit and everything. So I was playing this game religiously, and they were doing, free content packs each month at the time as well. So I was constantly playing this game, and it got to the point where, like you with Isaac, I was watching YouTube channels and stuff and
Yep.
trying to figure out how to maximize my boost and how to, maximize my effort that I put into each course as well. And so it got to the point where I wasn't even feeling challenged anymore. So what I would do is, much like in Mario Kart, there's like a 3, 2, 1, go type of deal, and depending on how you hit your acceleration, you can get a boost right out the finish line,
Yeah.
or the starting line. I mean, so what I would do it would get to the point where I wanted to be challenged to the point where I would not use the accelerate button the entire time I was on that track, except for at the starting line, just so I could get started. And so I would do that, like the 3, 2, 1, get the max boost that I could at the starting line. And then the rest of my acceleration would just come from me drifting and using boost without actually hitting the accelerate button.
All right. So you were just trying to break the game essentially to add more
Oh,
difficulty.
oh, dude, I was. And it's so satisfying, especially whenever you're playing a track and you didn't hit the accelerate button aside from the initial time you have to just to get started. Oh, it's so satisfying, man. It hits something up here. That dopamine button just, it just gets slammed.
No,
So,
I remember because we worked together during the whole COVID times, which that's a whole
mhm.
other conversation too. But I remember you talking about this game nonstop and talking about trying to match dev times and like trying to do all the crazy stuff, and it was just like you were 110% into this one. So
Yep, and it's crazy, man. I don't play it as much as I used to. I still will boot it up all the time, though, just randomly. And it's funny because my muscle memory has not gone away. And my wife and I will actually, she'll play with me, and I've actually taught her some, like, tips and tricks and everything on how to optimize the race course that you're on and everything. And she hasn't beaten me yet. She has gotten close, though. She's been a good student. But she hasn't beaten me yet, though. So, and it's funny whenever we sit down and we play it now because it's a thing of like, oh, you want to play Crash Team Racing? Don't let Chandler play with you.
well, it
So,
sounds like you've put your time in, that's for sure. So
oh, I definitely have a good chunk of time. I don't have 1,000 hours like you do in Isaac, but over the course of how much I play this game throughout my life, I'm sure I will definitely hit that point at some point.
yeah, no, I'm clearing 2,000 in Isaac now, so like we're getting there. So I
Yeah.
feel that though, investing time into a game, because like kind of like with Isaac, and I know this is your version of it. It's just one of those games you can just sit down, play, and just literally unplug. You just it's muscle memory more than just anything else at this point.
Yeah, there at this point there's no thought to it, man. Like like it's a thing of like I have some of the tracks optimized down to the point of, like I know exactly where I need to land and whenever I need to start drifting, all that good stuff to the point where I can maximize the run of that track as much as possible. So
Yeah, no, I get it. The same thing with Isaac, man. It's just like I know where I need to go, what I need to do, so I get it. I 100% understand that.
yep.
But yeah, so that's gonna be our 6 oddly satisfying games, guys. Like, what do you think? And more importantly, what are your oddly satisfying games? What games did we overlook that you have definitely just kind of lost a lot of time in because it was just that oddly satisfying to you?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been a nice kind of little trek down memory lane with the last few episodes we've done. But
Oh yeah.
now I'm like I said, now I want to go play some Balatro. I want to go play some more Isaac. Like I don't know.
I want to play some more Crash Team Racing.
But and I'm really tempted in booting up my PS3 because I mean I've got it plugged in and all that, but I want to get some screenshots of some of the carts I made and maybe add them into the episode or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
what we do. But do you have anything else you want to cover real quick, man? I know we got a lot going on, but
Uh,
anything you want to cover real quick?
just that, I'm going to be looking at trying to get more personal content up on Neon L. Johns, which is, right here down below. I have 2 videos up here as of recently. I say recently, but at the time this video goes up, it's going to be a couple of weeks. But I have a full playthrough of a horror game called Amenti, which was a lot of fun. I also have a playthrough of part 1 of a game called Dino Trauma, which is a dinosaur horror game, which the world definitely needs more of. So if you're here and you're watching this, definitely go check it out. It would be greatly appreciated. But no, that's all I got is just my shameless plug.
Oh yeah. I
Yep.
mean, I get it too, kind of for both of us. I mean, I'm down below at your magical. He's Neon L. Johns. Just give us a follow, like, subscribe, all that stuff, because we are doing this, and we're also, once he gets the move done, we want to do content together. We want to
Mhm.
play some more games together, and we'll have both of our perspectives put up on our own solo channels. So it'll be nice to kind of get both sides of that story. But as always, guys, just every little support you guys have been giving us, we greatly appreciate. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are awesome. Yeah, and that's all I've got. So as always, guys, we appreciate your time. And more importantly, don't forget, let's keep it uncultured.